Welcome back to another episode, GW. I'm Izzy Angeli, and this is GWeek from home. President-elect Joe Biden named numerous GW alumni to advise his transition team. As Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris gear up to lead the federal government beginning January 20th, the alumni are joined with experts and met with Dr. Anthony Fauci on Thursday to discuss the response to the coronavirus pandemic. Biden's agency review teams also include multiple GW faculty members who serve as volunteers. The transition team's website reads, quote, "The teams have been crafted to ensure that they not only reflect the values and priorities of the incoming administration, but reflect the diversity of perspectives crucial for addressing America's most urgent and complex challenges," end quote. With coronavirus infections on the rise in the U.S., D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser announced new restrictions as part of her plan to delay Phase 2 reopening. Claire Leibowitz has the story.
As cases of the novel coronavirus continue to rise throughout the United States and the District of Columbia, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser announced on the Monday before Thanksgiving that new coronavirus restrictions will be implemented starting November 25, 2020, as part of her plan to delay Phase 2 reopening. These changes come as the District of Columbia reported 371 new cases of COVID-19 on November 28th, the highest since the pandemic began back in March. As of December 1st, the 7-day averages of new cases is 182 new cases per day. New restrictions include the limitation of outdoor gatherings from 50 to 25 people and the limitation of indoor gatherings to 10 people. Additionally, restaurants can now stay open until midnight. However, alcohol sales, service, and drinking, excluding carryout and delivery, must end at 10 p.m., as Mayor Bowser claims that compliance to social distancing protocol generally reduces as restaurant patrons stay up later and consume more alcohol. In a press conference on November 23rd, Bowser addressed her reasoning for implementing her stricter guidelines.
These changes are meant to flatten the curve, help us reserve hospital beds for the most in need of care, and keep our community safe during this nationwide surge.
As part of the effort to flatten the curve, reduce transmission of the coronavirus, and help struggling DC businesses, Mayor Bowser also announced the launch of shopinthedistrict.com, a website where DC residents can browse and purchase items from small businesses across the district for in-person pickup, web order, or delivery. According to their website, Shop in the District tends to support revenue generation for small businesses, encourage safe shopping, and provide equitable access for minority and women-owned businesses. In an effort to help those greatly affected financially by the pandemic, Mayor Bowser announced housing stabilization grants that will provide $10 million in grants towards D.C. residents who are struggling to pay their rent. For GWeek, I'm Claire Leibowitz.
Thanks, Claire. Long March 5, China's third spacecraft to land on the moon, launched back to Earth Thursday night after loading itself with lunar rocks. Beijing's space program also has an orbiter and rover on its way to Mars. This is the first return of lunar material samples since the Soviets did so in the 70s. The Chinese spacecraft landed near a formation called the Mons Rumker, which may contain rocks billions of years younger than the lunar material retrieved earlier. Chinese officials reported that the samples are due to land in Mongolia in mid-December. While getting the lunar samples was Long March 5's main task, it is also equipped to photograph the area and map conditions beneath the surface of the moon. As the U.S. works to address racial inequities and social justice concerns, Capitol Hill joined the effort by pushing to remove all aspects of involuntary servitude in the U.S. Constitution. 155 years ago, lawmakers adopted and ratified the 13th Amendment, which formally stripped the U.S. of practicing slavery. But there was still a loophole, according to Democrats in the House and Senate. On Wednesday, they introduced a joint resolution called the Abolition Amendment, which seeks to remove the, quote, punishment, end quote, clause from the 13th Amendment, which allows the incarcerated populations to be used for cheap and free labor. Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley, one of the leaders in this effort, said, quote, "As we take on the long and difficult challenge of rooting out systemic racism in our nation, ending the slavery loophole in the 13th Amendment is a critical step in that challenge," end quote. The amendment has over a dozen co-sponsors, but no Republican lawmakers in either chamber have signed on. That's all we have for this week, and until the spring semester in 2021. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to check us out at gw-tv.com or on Instagram at GWeek News. See you next year, GW.